Hello and welcome to another chess video, and today's subject is one that most chess players don't like to run into, and that is cheating. It happens, and it seems like it happens more often recently because computers and even our phones have such powerful chess playing programs. So I had a game that I played a few weeks ago, and I just got a message from chess.com saying that an account was banned. So I played this person, Lanang Jagad 2011. So I played them and lost. So we'll take a look at that game. But I went in, and it looks like they played over 3,000 games. And so that's a shame where you have an account with 3,000 plus games and then your account gets closed for fair play. So, they're a 1,500 player. And I see here in their most recent games, they had a draw and then they had a loss. And then all of a sudden they win 5 games in a row. Now, the first one was against a lower rated player, but then the next two were higher rated. And so this 1,500 players just winning a lot of games against 1,700 players here. Let's look at some of these other ones. Looks like a lot of them are close to his range, but here this 1,500 player is playing against a 1,683 and he wins with a 97.3% accuracy rating. Anyway, we'll take a look at the game that I played, which was similar to that, where, let me pull it up here. All right, so I played at an 86.8% accuracy range and they played at 97.1. And it looks like the game was pretty even, and then they just kept a lead and until they just started building that lead up, to a winning advantage. And they had one brilliant move. They picked 19 of the best moves versus my 9. So now also here, this is one way you may be able to tell if somebody's cheating. If they're a 1,500 player and they played at a 2,350 level. Now that is possible if you just have a really good game. Now, I'm a 1,600 player and I played at an 1,850 level. So I played at a higher level, but they played at what? 800 points, almost 800 points above, which, that's possible. It's just not very common, but they only had one inaccuracy. I had 2 and 2 mistakes. So let's take a look at this game. Let's see here. I will put on the analysis and we can see, what was going on. And maybe by looking at this game, it'll help you figure out if somebody could be cheating. But I would definitely, if a game seems suspicious, do the game review, and see if, like this, like a 1,500 player plays at a 2,300 level with a 97% accuracy rating. So that's a little suspicious. So the game, they had white. They played e4, so I played c6, the Caro-Kann. So we played normal opening moves. Now, I just started playing this Caro-Kann, so I'm still learning all the opening moves, and so I didn't play the best move here. I should have just captured this pawn in the center. So I had a little inaccuracy there. And then they capture, so an inaccuracy as well. But it's in the beginning, in the opening. So if you're using a computer, you can just play moves that keep the game even, and then when you're in trouble and don't know what to do, they can just look at their phone or whatever computer they're using to find the moves. So it's a shame that people have to do that, because if you're cheating, you're not really winning the game. The computer is winning the game for you, And you're not going to learn as much by playing on your own and then finding out what moves, where you went wrong. That'll help you to play better. Whereas if you're just cheating, that's not really going to help you improve so much if the computer's just finding all the good moves for you. All right, so the game continues here. We just develop. And at this point, it looks like white just keeps a slight edge here. So we continue developing, trade off some pieces here. And the game is still pretty close. White has a slight edge. All right, so where are we at here? They just played this knight retreat, and it says that's an excellent move. White is just ahead a little bit. All right, so my guess is they just play until the game gets tough for them, and then they pulled out their phone or something and put the position in, especially in a rapid game where we have 15 minutes on the clock. So, with extra time on the clock, they can, when they get to a tough position, they could just, cheat, I guess. So, I just get all my pieces developed. They start moving towards the king side. So here they pick the best move. I try to take the half open file. Of course, the computer's saying it would have been better to jump this knight up here and then maybe, I don't know where the knight would want to go after that, jump into the center possibly. So they grab this outpost. So I can't capture right away because then they would recapture and fork my two pieces. So I do move this knight over to the edge to avoid the trade here immediately, and thinking that I could jump towards the center, targeting this pawn and their knight at the same time. And if they capture me, I could just capture towards the center and attack their bishop. So they play this move, knight to h5, which is good. It said rook to e3 would have been better. So, what would have been best to play here? Looks like taking the knight is the best move. So, and the computer says that's a great move. So I got a great move there. But really, I'm just getting rid of this knight that's kind of moving in on my position. But that does help the queen to recapture. And so now it's saying white is ahead by +1 here. All right, so now it looks like knight back to c4 is what the computer wants. But instead, I move forward. So now the computer's saying or excuse me, I was thinking knight back to c6. But knight to c4 was the best move. So I'm attacking their knight now. They do not capture me, which the computer says is best. So anyway, I capture. They capture. So on my side, my mistakes would probably be, I don't know how much of a mistake they are, but when I captured, it kind of helped his pieces get pulled up towards my king side. So now he has a rook in here, queen, bishop, all aiming at my king side. And here I make a mistake. I played rook to c7, maybe trying to get ready to come over here and guard my king side. Or the central pawn if I want to push forward at some point and drive that rook out of there. But computer says bishop to c6 would have been better. All right, so they double their rooks, which is fine, normal play. And then here I wasn't sure what to do. So this was a mistake. It looks like I should have played bishop to c8. So bishop to c8 would have been better. And then they recommend, but even after bishop to c8, it says it's +1.5 for white. So Let's see here. Bishop to c8, then rook at 1 to e3. So you bring the rook up, get ready to swing it over and start attacking my king side. So, if they do that, well, then what do I do? The recommendation is king to h8. Well, now it's saying I should push this pawn up and block things. So, maybe that would be a better move. But then you have rook to g3, threatening to pick this pawn off because this one's pinned by the rook now. Let's see here. Rook to f6. Now we can kind of cover this pawn. But then they recommend rook to g6. Let's see. King up to g7. Then capture, which doubles my rooks up, but it drives this rook back. And now I can bring my rook over. So this would have been a lot better. I could have put up more resistance in this game. But instead, the game goes like this. Rook moving in here, lining up on my king. Now this pawn is being threatened. And if I capture the rook, there's a mate here. So now my opponent is playing some good moves. Let's look at that rook to g5 move. So now here the computer says that that's the best move, rook to g5, and they pick it. So they pick the best move, even though now the computer's saying it would have been better to bring this rook forward. So here I should play, apparently e5. Which would give up this pawn but cover this one with my queen. But I'm in trouble already, pretty bad trouble here. So finally I play this move, but now it's a mistake. So what should I have played? It looks like just f6. But, even if I play that move, attacking the rook, it's not so good. They could just move up here, then queen to d6, but then the queen can take this, threatening, not a mate because this rook is covering, but anyway, they go ahead a pawn if it would play out that way. So here's how the game actually ended. So they start their attack. I try to block this bishop, but now they just pick that off. I should have moved forward with this pawn, apparently, but, then they could just capture that. So they bring their other rook in. I try to put up some resistance, but it's just, not looking too good. So if we go back... All right, so that's the best move, and then I'm already losing here. So the game continued like this. Now here I should have captured. That would have been the best move, I believe. Although now it's saying rook to f7 also, which is what I played. But now, if I would have played that, queen captures. King has to move. Yeah, it's just not looking too good. They recommend, maybe something like that. But then you have a check. King runs away. Queen to f8 check. Now, why wouldn't I just run over to here? Oh, because that would be a mate. Oh, man. Yeah, that's just awful. So here, see if I run up to c5, or excuse me, run over here to c5, 6, they could just mate me up here with queen queen to c5. So I would be forced to just lose here. If I block, well, then we have rook captures, queen captures, then the queen captures here. Now I'm just down a whole bishop and some pawns. So yeah, 2 pawns. Okay, so the game, if we go back to what actually happened, I go over here, and then they sacrifice. Well, first they bring this down, and I play the best move, but we have this brilliant sacrifice. So my opponent finds that move, and now a fork between my king and queen. So I play a little bit further, but now they're going to promote this pawn, so I just resigned here. And if we go back and look at this game review, so they played at a 97.1% accuracy rating versus my 86.8, and they had a brilliant move. So I didn't play the best, but I don't know. Sometimes when you're playing against opponents and you get the feeling that they're finding a lot of really good moves and not giving you anything, even if you're a higher rating than them, they could be I don't know how old this person was. It could be a kid who is improving, and that makes a big difference. But they played at a 2350 level. I played at 1850, and I don't know. It was kind of suspicious. If we go back and look at their other games here, let's see. All right, here's one we could review and see what the accuracy rating is, because here they're a 1556 rating playing a 1705, and they win. So let's see what the accuracy percentage is here. So another game where they're up in the 90s, 94.1 versus 82.5, and another brilliant move. So, if they're finding brilliant moves in every game, and another 2300 rating level. So either this is a kid that is really improving, but I don't know. They had 3,000 games in there. So, chess.com has methods and some type of program that goes in and checks games. And, I just recommend don't cheat. One, you're not going to learn as much as if you make mistakes and then figure out what you're doing wrong afterwards. If you're cheating and just picking computer moves, the computer's really winning, not you. So anyway, I would try and discourage people that are thinking about cheating, from just don't do it. All right. Let's go back and see. We could take a quick look at some of their other games. So they were at 94.1 in that game. We could look at another one of their wins. Here they're playing a 1600 opponent. We'll see what they score in that. So here, every game they're playing in the 90s. Here's a 97.7 with 2 brilliant moves. Okay, so yeah, that's one way you can, I would be suspicious. That's one way you could find out if somebody's probably cheating, if they're getting too many high 90 percentile games. Here, we could take a look at another one here. Let's see. All right, here's one where they're playing against another 1500 player, and it went 54 moves. So how did that end up? Now here, 75.4 versus 79.6. So they didn't play as good as their opponent, but then they end up winning here at the end. I'd have to look at the game to see what actually happened, but I'm not going to do that. So here they even played at a lower level than their opponent, and they still ended up winning that game. So, yeah, that's a little suspicious as well. Where they're losing and then all of a sudden they come back and win at the end. All right. I don't know. We'll see if they're playing against any other higher rated opponents. Oh, and then this is something interesting. The game that they lost, right here. Let's see. So they played at a 75% rating. And then here's another one where they lost. They played at a 60% rating. Let's see how they did on this game that they drew. Okay, so 76%. All right. Well, I don't want to drag this video out too long, but it's interesting. Who knows how many people are really cheating out there? There's probably a lot more of it going on than you would think. And sometimes it's just hard to tell. This person probably got caught because it looked like, well, let's review these other two games. It looks like they just started getting a bunch of games in the 90th percentile. Yeah, like look at this one. 98.3% accuracy with two brilliant moves. So that's pretty suspicious. They played 15 of the best moves. So here, the opponent was just ahead. Well, no, the game looks like it was about even. And then black gets a slight advantage, and then it just goes downhill from there. But 98.3% accuracy, another 2200 level game. So, that's a little suspicious. And we'll see what this last game was here in their most recent games. So, another one, 97.8% accuracy, and they played at a 2300 level. Okay, so unless this is a kid who is just really improving, but with 3,000 games, I don't know what they started at. They probably would have, been higher rated after 3,000 games. So, I imagine they got caught because they just started playing all these games that were their last 5 games here were in the 90 percentile range, which is possible, but it's a 1,500 player playing at master level for multiple games in a row, which I guess is possible, but still it's pretty suspicious. 98.3% accuracy rating, 97.7, 95, 97, 94. All right, well, I just wanted to, bring that up because cheating has become, a bigger problem these days, especially with computers that people can use to cheat with. And at least chess.com is doing, a good job of trying to find people that are cheating. I don't know how many people they catch, but I remember reading an article online before where it's a lot more than you think are caught for cheating. So good job on chess.com for finding another person that was not following the rules. All right, well, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave any comments that you would like. If you have anything to say about cheating experiences that have happened to you. And as I said, thank you for watching and have a super chess day.